You can't handle the truth. Or can you? Let's flip this around. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. You can hashtag it if you care to. Hashtag my name. Send a powerful message to the sensors all around this stationary Earth. What I'm showing you today is where the sun is approaching. The moon is high in the sky, not as high as the other days. They're getting closer together is what's going on. And I want to unpack some things. The sun is coming up over here, and it will set right over here. It's rising in the northeast, setting in the northwest. While on the other hand, the moon is coming up over there and rising and setting over there. Two different movements, obviously, as obvious as I can be, Captain Obvious. So, got some things I want to talk about. Why am I so freaking different? What happened to me? Well, I'm gonna share that with you. One of the things that happened when I was a boy, I worked on the farm. My first job was carrying buckets of milk and shoveling manure. Some may say I'm still doing the latter, shoveling the manure. Not so. Not so. I'm telling the truth is what I'm doing, because it matters for eternity, as best I can tell. So there's a couple of things that I believe are extremely important to consider. One of them would be the truth, and the next one would be the truth. It's all about the truth. But then again, what is the truth and who determines that? Well, that's beyond my pay grade. I don't determine what the truth is. I just determine what I believe the truth is, or do I? I believe it's even beyond that. I don't even really determine what I believe the truth is, because what happened with me is God gave me a love for the truth. God, who created this world, living water, the great I am, the Alpha and Omega, Abba, my Heavenly Father. His Hebrew reference is Yeshua. Most people around the world at this time in human history, out of nearly 8 billion people, would know him as Jesus Christ. Okay, so I'm not, what I'm doing is I'm creating a bit of a crossover of people understanding that the language of Hebrew refers to the Savior as Yeshua, yet most of humanity knows him as Jesus Christ. That's the identity of the individual that will get you killed in some countries unless you recant your faith in him. All right, I wanted to cover that. One of the other things that happened was I grew up on a farm. I was 10 years old, like I said, carrying buckets of milk and shoveling manure. And Vern and Irene, what a wonderful couple they were. They've both transitioned now. I would work with Vern and Irene. We would take an afternoon nap after chores were done, and we had a little bit of a lunch. The nap would be about 20 minutes. No kidding. And it was cool. It was really helpful, very refreshing. Got to know a lot from Vern. Okay, and here's another thing. My dad was a commercial salesman, a professional, one of the best of the best. And he sold raw materials to the military industrial complex and the manufacturing center of the upper Midwest, Wisconsin and Michigan. I didn't show you how still it was at the house. I'm going to get back to that. But I'm going to flip this around and show you the thin gauze of haze that's coming off of the moisture in that water retention pond. So I would listen to Vern tell me about raising cows and milk prices and government intervention in all of that. What does that have to do with anything? What if you had bought, let's say, Apple stock, Microsoft stock, any of the major monoliths of our modern society that have had stock prices that went from pennies to over $1,000. What about that? Artificial intelligence did it. It creates the trading, and influence, actually conducts most of the trades itself, and then manipulates the rest of humanity to do its bidding. Isn't that special? Yesterday I met some future farmers of America, and actually they are farmers right now. Man, they were the most interactive group of people I've ever met, just like on the street. Ooh, looks like I've got a little bit of a sound. It was actually on the beach. I met them on the beach, and the demographic of the youth were high school student age, and they were very curious. They had a lot of excellent questions about what I was bringing up. And then, yeah, of course, there were some funny, goofy kind of questions and that. I get that. But it was a pretty serious interactive dialogue that we had. And also interacted with some of the adults there that were overseeing the over 150 youth that were out there at the beach. And they were curious. They wanted to know what I was doing there. Of course, I had my YouTube Truth chair and cooler there. You can see it on my profile. On my YouTube channel Truth, as well as Facebook. And one of the reasons why I put the camera down and just put it in the cooler, I wanted them to know that it wasn't being recorded then. I'm gonna flip this around and show you. That's where the sun is approaching from this vantage point. That's where the sun is rising, and the sun is setting over across by the hospital there. That's a designed community. It's a designed system, so that there's engineered communities. And I'm gonna kind of put this all together and bounce around, hope you don't mind. The clear globe is in the back to help people to see through the global lie. I want people to know. I just touched my the view of my phone. It's got AI in it. Did you notice how my logo of YouTube Truth showed up better and in the proper orientation on the selfie mode? Okay, so AI is very aware of the future because it's creating it. It's got the long game. Why can in the view? Why can Amazon.com sell things cheaper than almost anybody else online? Well, because the system that it has created for itself. Isn't that special? I would like you to think even beyond the name of the CEOs that are the figureheads of this activity. That's the Intracoastal Waterway, and the moon is, well, I can't show you so good right now. So what I want to do is help you to see, like I said, beyond the figureheads, the CEOs, because they're being highly influenced and directed by artificial intelligence. It just makes good sense. And the reason that it does is it's calling the shots for this world system. Of course, I get the shots called for me by omnipotence and omniscience, all-knowing and all-powerful God who created this world. Isn't that special? So truly greater is he that's in me than he that's in the world that's manipulating all this. Jesus said that Satan is the god of this world, the prince of the power of the air. How about that? The spirit of those who are working iniquity among us, the fallen angels, demons, all of that. You know, when I was able to talk to these people and relate with them at a level that they maybe were surprised. Meet a guy on the beach that has shoveled manure on the farm. I mean, when I would walk in, when I first started working for Vern, I said, here's what I would like to do. I don't know if you're going to want me to work with you. I grew up in the city, but you know, I was 10 years old. I said, I'll work for you for a week, and if you decide you want to keep me on, you can pay me. If not, no hard feelings and that. And I worked with him, had a great time. And he said, Bobby, you're hired. I made $4 $4 a week. I put in a lot of hours for that, but $4 in 1970 went a lot further than $4 now. For gosh sakes, well, you know, what has happened to the purchasing power of the dollar? Well, it's been decreased, and that's intentional. All of it's intentional. What I want you to, the truth about all this is it's all engineered and designed by a system that has a control of humanity's choices, manipulating the stock market, the financial markets. Here's one of the other things. Make America great again. America has been elevated to the largest manufacturer and producers of death in the world. Death in the form of Hollywood showing death on the cinematography, the military-industrial complex creating the weapons of wars to annihilate humanity, to kill the population of the world over and over many times, and then distributing death in GMOs, genetically modified organisms, creating a corn that will be able to withstand powerful chemicals that are cancer-causing, that are going to be integrated systemically into the food chain. I know what I'm talking about. If I didn't, I wouldn't say it. That's what I want you to get with me. I don't talk about stuff I don't know about. If I don't know the meaning of a word, I'll find out what it means, or I won't use it until then. I'm not going to unleash that truth on you until I found it to be true. Now, some may believe that the Bible is a fairy tale, it's science fiction. Bummer for you, if that's what you hold to. Because I can tell you, you're looking at a new man. I've seen religious hypocrites for a long time, all my life. I was one. And when I was actually born again, I was changed. I'm not the guy that I was. So I see this world differently. So when I was 10 years old, carrying buckets of milk, shoveling manure, and looking at life, wondering, Vern, why are they paying you to not grow crops in some seasons? Why would the government pay you to not grow corn and wheat and oats and barley when there's people starving to death? I've seen them on my TV. Why would they do that? Well, they're wanting to regulate the production, the supply and demand. Oh, okay. Well, it still didn't make sense to me. It didn't make any more sense than people telling me Santa Claus was going to take flying freaking reindeer and deliver me my Red Ryder BB gun if I was a good little boy. Okay, so right in the view, I'm gonna pull up here right now. Notice the puddle, notice the reflection, notice the dead end sign. The dead end sign also has a no turnaround on it. When the end of your life is here, you cannot turn around. So it's a metaphor, but it's a reality. Got some people out here right now. I don't think I've seen them before. No problemo. Got a beautiful sunrise to show you. I think I'm gonna probably pull over where I was yesterday to show you. Let's let you see what this looks like. The drains and the puddles are in the low spot in the parking lot and in the world. The clam beds that were visible yesterday are not visible right now. That's because there's more water on top of them. Low tide was at 4:49. Did you know that? Some of you maybe did. Some of you know this routine. You can get the Tides Near Me app and see it. Ah, yes. Here we go. Showtime, baby. So I'm gonna roll with this right now. What you're looking at is a sea level liquid mirror. This is the level of the ocean right now, and it's changing at this location. Notice the symmetry of the reflection. Notice the calm water and the perfect flat reflection that it's providing of the structures around us. That's the way it actually works. Oh my gosh, I just started the recording with the P1000. And what I'm going to do is zoom in on this and show you once again probably very powerful evidence of the sun being in the midst of the clouds, as Job 37 indicates. When there's clouds like this, what I want you to think about, and you can look at my photo album and other videos that I've done, it's not as obvious now because there's light all around. Like an hour before the sunrise, I can see the sun approaching, and it's a small area of that visible. That's the point of that. So when I zoom in on a structure like that, the water is obviously flat and level. That's the point of that. And the reason that's important is it means they're taking our tax dollars and giving us a false reality with trips to the moon and Mars. And the space that NASA's most interested in is between your ears, folks, your brain. Because then you'll go along with the rest of their lies. We've got to make America great. We've got to build weapons of warfare to protect us from the terrorists. You're either with us or the terrorists. I'm calling bullshit on George W. Bush and his Papa Bush, Poppy Bush, opium distributor Bush. Those bastards, and I call them bastards and I mean it, they're the spawn of Satan as far as I'm concerned. Skull and Bones Society members perpetrating death and destruction on humanity and killing innocent men, women, and children and enslaving the rest of humanity with that false reality that they're pushing on us. I'm a bit put off by it. If that doesn't upset you, you're not paying attention or something worse. What I want to do is call attention to it, to show people the reality of the world that we live in, so you can make an informed choice. They made it really shameful to be a draft dodger. For gosh sakes, a lot of innocent men, women, and children were killed for the false pretense for war that Vietnam was. What I've come to find out is much of what we're told about our history was cleverly designed to manipulate humanity into killing each other. I just wanted to show you how beautiful this is and what it looks like from this vantage point. It's a plain mirror. It's a sea level liquid mirror that you're looking at. So earlier this week, I showed you the mud right down here where people would, well, like I said, I saw a lady up to her waist stuck in it. Her husband had to come and rescue her. There's a sandbar out there that you can't see right now. You can't see the clam beds, any of that. There's the moon right up there, and I'm going to zoom in on it. I don't have much time to show it to you. You'll see it on the P1000 recording later. When I get home and post it, you can check it out if you like. So I've got mind-blowing photos and videos of the sun and the moon and the stars at the various seasons. In the summer here, the sun came up right where you're looking at. In the winter, it's going to come up way over in the middle of the view. To put that in perspective, it's even more than from a left to a right view. That's why I say, do you feel yourself spinning, wobbling, or gyrating? Well, the movement of the earth has never been proven. If you've got what you believe is proof for that, go ahead and send it to me. Anybody can comment on my live broadcast now. I removed the commenting by friends only. Let's see how that works out. What's kind of nice is now I've got a lot of friends that know the truth about this, and they'll back me up. Share my stuff and show this world the way it is, not the way they want it to be. Exposing the lies because it matters for eternity. Good morning, ladies. So with the lighting, what will happen is when the sun punches through and hits the structures, it reflects different. That's just how it actually works. So the reflection will follow the eyes of the observers, which is all of us. You can see how this will line up a bit different. How we'll be able to see more of that reflection on the flat water. See how it's showing up? That's how I get some of this mind-blowing photography and videography. I wanted to teach you how to do it, and also how to decode some of this, what you're looking at. Look at the difference of just a little bit of movement left or right. There it is. And I know that this spot is here this time of the year. The sun and the moon and stars move a course above the stationary earth. That's biblical, that's reality, whether you like it or not, or agree with it or not. I'm to the point right now where I'm not indifferent about what other people believe about it. I just understand I can't change their mind. They maybe can't even change their mind. They may be so stuck into the deception that they're in and believing the lie that they want to believe, and God will help them do it. How does that work? Well, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 says to everybody forever, they refuse to love the truth and so be saved. For this reason, God sends them a powerful delusion. There's virtually no wind right now. I'm here because this is the mirror that I wanted to show you. The cloud consistency is a little more challenging to illustrate how the sun is in the midst of the clouds. Normally the composition and the tapestry of thicker and thinner allows that to be more obvious, but I've nailed it. It's all over my profile. My Sun in the Clouds video isn't a one-time thing, although it's been seen over 750,000 times in its different venues. There is a frequency going on the water right now. I don't know what is causing it. I've seen it before. It's right in the middle of the view. It doesn't look like fish came up. It looks like there's some kind of energy hitting the water, big time. I've seen fish surface. It looks like it's coming from the middle. It may be some kind of activity under the water. I don't know what it is. I've noticed it before. I'm gonna zoom in on it a little bit and see if you can see the rippling that's going on. The different patterns of reflections are amazing. Now we are in a seismic area. Charleston has had some massive earthquakes. So on the other side of the water tower is the point in Cherry Grove. Done a lot of video out there. That's where the eagle is in the trees. Got him flying out and catching a fish. So with the firmament, that's the Genesis reference, Genesis 1, chapter 1. There's a dome above the earth. Okay, they can bounce signals on it. Imagine it's like a big what they call a satellite dish. It's a big dish that they can beam frequencies off of. That's just the reality of it. Satellites, as we're told, are part of the NASA deception. I've got abundant documentation of that. Okay, it's truly very calm, and I'm going to zoom in with the P1000. The white band of paint that's around just above the parking ramp of that building in the middle of the view, that's a very unusual sight to see at this calm. The symmetry is absolutely perfect. I'm going to zoom in, and I can show you with the photos as well. I'll zoom in on the culverts underneath the road. Let's see what I can see from there. The water seeks level and covers the face of the stationary earth. So when I say water seeks level, some say, that doesn't make any sense. Well, let me unpack that for you. Here's how it works. There would be no level anywhere in the world if we were on a spinning, wobbling, gyrating oblate spheroid. I couldn't even play a game of billiards. I couldn't even take a shower. I couldn't sit on a toilet, spinning, wobbling, and gyrating. People upside down in relationship to other people. That is so freaking ridiculous. It's as ridiculous as Santa knowing what I'm doing and whether or not he's going to bring me a lump of coal or a Red Ryder BB gun. Almost everybody I've talked to believed the Santa lie. But when I was a kid, seeing Santa and his flying reindeer on the radar, on the news program, the same television that I saw the fake moon landing 50 years ago. Where were you when they did the fake moon landing? I remember exactly where I was. If you ladies want to see what's on my channel, you could take a snapshot of the information on my car. Hashtag YouTube Truth. It's there. And feel free to reach out anytime. I've got some powerful documentaries to expose some things that maybe you were unaware of.
Okay, awesome.
Thanks. Nice to meet y'all. Thank you. And you'll be briefly on the view of my video. Awesome. And if you wanted an interview, I could put you on if you want. No. Okay, that's cool. Hey, you're welcome. And what's interesting about that is sometimes I will actually interview people, and I normally like to make that known to them before it happens so they can choose to either be on or not. So that type of interaction happens with me often out here, and there will be a curiosity to explore the content. And then it's not just simply about the evidence that I've compiled and others. This isn't a me show. I'm not. If you want to know how I've been able to compile such amazing content, look at my friends list. See who I'm connected to. Some of them you won't even know because they're not visible as people that I'm actually connected with as friends now. They may have shared information with me and they came looking for me. And what I want you to do is just simply look at the content and see what it is. Now, one of the young ladies said, "Are you the only one doing this out here?" I said, "Well, not actually, because I've got friends that will share my content all over the world. I have friends all over the world, and they share the content all over the world as well. Their primary language in some cases is different than mine. I'll share their videos anyway. So now I'm seeing, the minnows on the top of the water. I get that. They're swimming around. That's what I'm looking at there. No big deal. What I saw in the middle out here, it looked like some type of frequency hitting the water. Now, over on top of between the buildings in the middle of the view, the house there's a water tower. Nowadays, a lot of water towers are also cell towers and more. The technology that's available that comes through the televisions and comes through the radio, the frequencies, the silent weapons for quiet wars, the manipulation of humanity with high-powered computer technology, it's all happening right now. How about that? I thought you should know. So I spend a lot of hours doing it. So it's not just one more video. See, that's normal surface type activity, fish swimming around. It's not what I saw. I get that. And it doesn't freak me out. It's just the way that it is. Now imagine if you could control the financial market, the weather, public opinion, and the belief system of humanity. Imagine if you could control that, all of that. Artificial intelligence does, for the most part, control all of that. Now, God is still sovereign. He always has been. That means that He's in charge. Nothing in this world happens that He doesn't cause or allow. So, to be clear on that, I'm simply wanting to point out the reality that we're in a battle that many people are unaware of. They don't know, and they don't know that they don't know. So in the view is the light reflecting off of the building that's shooting from above there. The mathematical geometric reflections and what we can see, the shadows and the reflections, those are all clues to the world that we live in. And I also mean metaphorically. When I look in the mirror, I see a man that I am grateful to be, rather than a man I used to loathe. I used to hate myself because I couldn't stop doing what I knew I shouldn't be doing, and I couldn't do the things that I believed I should in many cases. So now that I'm empowered by the Holy Spirit to do what I'm created to do, I enjoy it. I have a passion, purpose, an eternal perspective, and the power to do what I couldn't do, and the pleasure to enjoy it all, even in the midst of massive opposition. So the open ocean is right there. That's the Prince Resort. The pier is just on the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier is on the other side of it. Let's go. Let's go see what it looks like. Let's see who's out there. It looks like I've got a little bit of a lens flare. So I'm going to take that off with the lens pen. Yeah, that looks better. So rather than doing shock video and showing ridiculous stuff that people will give millions of views for, like, who? Logan Paul? PewDiePie? Oh, wow. And then we've got the Discovery Channel, National Geographic, and all the garbage that they're putting out under the guise of science. Science fiction is what it is. So I'm outing that whole corrupt system that's enslaving humanity. The metaphorical example or the allegorical example of the Matrix is on a lot of my liked videos. I put it there because I believe it's a reality that a lot of people can relate with. Do you really believe that we could have toilet water not flying out on people in Australia because of gravity? Well, no, it's just water seeking its level. That's what it does all over the face of the stationary Earth. It rises and falls. It's just what it does. We've got a diurnal tide here. Hey, I'm going to zoom in on the clam bed right there. Now it's visible. It's a few inches of water that have gone out. That has gone out. And I saw this yesterday. I'm going to zoom in on it right now. Let's see. The water is squirting out of the clams. That is so cool. All right. So the clams have a muscle in them. And people will spend a lot of money to go and get clams. This is, or oysters, I guess. That's what I would say. Oyster beds, clam beds. I'm not a fan. I just have never really enjoyed the taste of them, so I don't have them. But wanted to show you once again the evidence of just simple puddles. And then, of course, the drain right there in the middle of that. They put drains in the low spot. It just works better that way. That's where the water leaves, the low spot. And one of the reasons to leave the broadcast continuous, and I believe I'm going to have it brief, like shortly after I get to the beach, I'm going to discontinue it. I'll stop it. I want to get home and post it. I'm not a distracted driver. Some people get really ill about it. They don't like the content, so they'll say, not of me, normally. Normally I don't get that, where they're saying, hey, you shouldn't be doing a recording while you're driving. Well, I'm an excellent driver. That's what the Rain Man said on Dustin Hoffman with the Tom Cruise movie. See, we've got public figures like Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson. These individuals have been propped up by a system of power and control that's amazing, absolutely amazing. I think what I'm going to do is just go, not here. They've got a no parking thing here. I wanted to show you something a little bit different. I can park up here on the grass. A lot of other people do. I wanted to show you the precision with which the water leaves this area and what I can show you with that. So you'll be able to see that a little bit better. Where I was out there on the walkout, look at the symmetry of the wood and the reflections and all of that. It's all perfect, just from a different vantage point. The fishermen are coming out. They're driving on out, launching their boats, getting all set up for some relaxing activity. Farmers, fishermen, all kind of interesting. It's not only about catching fish, it's about interacting with, I believe, reality, a high percentage of reality. What we can see in the creation. So that's a big deal. Being able to see reality and what that's like. Oh, I did rinse my brakes off too. I had brake dust in between my in my brake mechanism, and I rinsed that off. Yesterday I mentioned it. That squeaking was really bugging me. And that's okay. That doesn't mean I need to be drugged like I'm OCD or something. That's part of the system of control, the mechanism. They have a diagnostic manual called the DSM for psychiatric conditions. They've got a drug and a condition for anybody that can fog a mirror. Just so you know, I'm not a fan of that. And I'm outing that system. So I'm just about to the end of the P1000 recording. But I wanted to get out here at the open ocean to have the continuous broadcast. Good morning, Sally. Beautiful day again, isn't it? This is the Prince Resort. Wonderful location here in Cherry Grove and Cherry Grove Fishing Pier. So I'm going to go ahead and start another P1000 broadcast, or recording, I should say. This is Robert Forsch with the YouTube channel Truth. I'm here at the Prince Resort. Wanted to show you how beautiful it is here. At this time of the day, the season, the sunrise was gorgeous. It's on an earlier recording, and this is a live Facebook broadcast that I'm going to merge, or I'm going to upload to YouTube a bit later when I get home. Good morning. Excellent, thanks. So are you open to new information? Good morning. Hi there.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, you're welcome. Good morning. It looks like the system needs to reboot. Good morning. So with this public forum out here, what's so wonderful is we're expecting in this calendar year about 20 million guests in the Grand Strand of Myrtle Beach, which is about 60 miles of beautiful beaches and wonderful accommodations on the coast of South Carolina. And so, for example, when I was walking out to the beach yesterday, I did a little recording, and then I encountered the group of the Future Farmers of America. Do you think they'll remember that interaction? Yeah, I'm sure they will. Many people do. We'll also have like tournaments where there will be a baseball, softball tournament, cheerleading tournaments. People from all over the world come here in big events because we've got an infrastructure to support it. Beautiful accommodations and also just a beautiful place to enjoy. So that's why people come here. So the infrastructure of all the personnel to keep it clean, have it look nice, that's all a big part of what's going on here. It takes a lot of work. We have, last night we had a Music on Main. It was a band playing, and they have most Thursday nights in the summertime, weather permitting, there will be concerts, and they block off a portion of the street, and there will be anywhere from 2,000 to 5,000 people that come on out there, and I'll quite often be interacting in the midst of that. What ends up happening is I'll reconnect with people I haven't seen for years, and it's not like they're trying to run away from me. They want to know what I've been up to. They haven't seen me, and we've had meaningful conversations, and that's how it goes. Now, there are people in this world that think they need to rescue humanity from me, from what they believe the deception I'm unleashing on humanity. The deception part has been covered by a very clever system of control. I'm the part of the exposing that. That's what I'm doing. And I appreciate the friends and family from all over the world, all over the earth, to do that. Another example of water seeking level. The tidal activity, I'm not saying that all water in the world is level. It's seeking level. It'll do that. So I showed you in the earlier part of the broadcast the glassy water. This is still very reflective. It's just moving. That water was moving too. It was just moving differently. So in the context of this, what I want to unpack for you is people are searching. They're out here looking for shark teeth, seashells, maybe to rekindle a relationship, maybe reflecting on a new life as divorced, or as a partner has deceased, or just walked away from the relationship. I'm on the edge of that right now too. We've got beautiful family pictures and all of that. And unfortunately, my wife Joni believes I'm deceived. And I'm sad to hear that, because I'm not deceived on this. And the reason why I bring that up is you'll see a friendly, normally pretty happy guy. I have a deep sense of joy in the midst of difficult circumstances. I'm going to zoom in on this little couple. I believe they're blue, or they're herons. I'm not exactly sure. They are adorable. I've never seen them out here before. That's unfortunately what one of the birds that passed away, I rescued from the, he smacked into the building, evidently, for Hurricane Florence. We're coming up on a year of that. So in the pursuit of looking for better health, looking for a body that functions better, people invest a lot of time on that. When I say this is a sea level mirror and people are reflective, they reflect off of the water, they reflect on their lives, past, present, future. The fact that they're searching, what I want you to think about, when people are searching and they're curious, I get more people that will come up to me in the context of this out here when I'm doing what I'm doing. Now that's an avenue into being open for new information. Curiosity is a catalyst for consideration. Now for a lot of people, the pier is a turnaround point. They'll jog up to the pier and tap it and run the other way. Take a break. It's good shade, especially for the middle of the day when the sun is the closest and the hottest in this location. Midday, it's high in the sky. Now, like I mentioned, in the winter, it'll come up way over on the left side or the right side of the view. In the summer, way over on the left. It just came over up in the middle of the view over there behind those buildings, and it's moving a path over the stationary earth. So what I'm going to do now is zoom in again. If you're watching a video and you see the lens of the P1000 zoom out or zoom in, you'll know that I'm doing some recording of that. You might recognize some of the same people, some of the same dogs. In the middle of the view, that looks like the couple of ladies I met out on the walkout. I saw them as I was walking out here. And what'll end up happening is that there will be, for example, a lot of times people will come here for a week, vacation, rent a condo, and then they'll be in the area enjoying a week of vacation. Then on the weekends, there's a mixture of locals, a high concentration of locals that'll come here. They may drive, when I say local, within an hour. And then there are some that come out here almost every day, walking on the beach, walking their dogs, looking for seashells, looking for maybe a new relationship. So when people invest a lot of money and, a vacation here, they may spend $5,000. Pretty average, I would think, is close to $3,000. If you're bringing a family from 1,000 miles away, it's going to cost you like $3,000 to $5,000 easily. So they've got investment in the vacation, in the time here. So even when it's raining, they'll come out. They'll come out here. They want to get their money's worth. And like right now, I'm zoomed in on people. What I'll probably do, what I have a tendency to do, is sometimes I'll zoom in on people at a long distance, and I'll just let you see what you can notice. What do you? And sometimes I may comment on it. Other times I'll just let you ponder what you're looking at. So I've got a video where I was recording 5 Vietnamese surf fishermen during a thunderstorm, and I was on the motorcycle. I came out there that day on the motorcycle. It's just down on the other side of the pier there, and you can see it. It was called Struck by Lightning. If you hashtag Struck by Lightning, you'll see it. But I was hit by lightning, so were they. And we all survived it, and it was a test. I believe God wanted me to see what I would do. The old me, before I was born again, I remember thinking when I believed I was in a test, when God was testing me, I used to think He wanted to see what I would do. Well, that would be looking at a God who isn't all-knowing. Well, now that I actually know Him in a way where He's living in and through me, I'm aware that He knows everything. He's omniscient. Omniscience is the reality of knowing everything. It's not just the capacity of it. It's the reality of that. I believe that truth and reality are interchangeable. And so I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the pelicans and just show you a little bit of what that looks like from a distance. So I found out that I can actually go live with the P1000, and there may come times that I do that. However, I like to show more. It's my second camera person, or second camera I can show you. So I've got the iPhone 10 mounted on top of the P1000. So you'll get a cohesive broadcast on Facebook, and then a YouTube video that's going to be around an hour long or so. And then 2 zoomed in views that will show from a far different perspective at times, far closer. And so now I'm going to just zoom out and let you see how they just kind of vanish into the distance. Oh gosh, I'm going to zoom in on the big dog. I've seen that dog and talked with the people before. That is a whopper of a dog. I believe a Newfoundland. And then we've got our exercise class setting up there, and it's just amazing. I mean, people have such a different perspective on life. So to go back to what I started out talking about, when I was working on the farm, carrying buckets of milk, they don't do much of that anymore. What they'll do is they'll use a pipe now. That's what I'm doing. I'm using the worldwide pipeline of distribution of information. And the very artificial intelligence I'm outing as controlling it, I'm leveraging it. I'm right there in on it, with it. I'll use it. And many of my friends and family are doing that as well. That's great. I'm not just trying to work up what I can do and highlight that. I'm looking at and highlighting what we're doing. It's citizen journalism. It's investigative journalism. I've got friends all over doing this kind of thing. Well, sharing videos. As far as a vlog like I do, I'm not sure who else is doing it because I'm not looking for that. It's on a given day I may have 1,000 notifications. I can't keep up with that, let alone what everybody else is doing. So this is just my effort to do the best I can with what I have. Notice where the sunlight hits the fishing line. You're looking at a fishing line. Let that sink in. From a long ways away, from a mile away, you can see a fishing line, I can, on the zoomed in view with the P1000. So I've zoomed in on the moon and the sun, clearly established conclusively to me that they're local sun. You can hashtag it. Because I've talked about it so much in the video, I'll do that. Look at the way that the light is hitting that weather modification trail. Some call them chemtrails. Remember, 2 kids stealing a bike is a conspiracy. What is it when artificial intelligence hijacks the collective consciousness of humanity and projects a false reality and is basically causing so much death and destruction? It's not people friendly. It's more like the Terminator. I'll be back. Yeah. Alexa. Yeah, how about Alexa? That's an Amazon thing. How about that? Amazon can sell things less expensive than almost anybody because they're selling cloud storage, the internet. But keep in mind, I want you to consider something here. It's not just Jeff at Amazon, or it's not just Apple Computer. It's not just Facebook or Google or YouTube. It's all one thing. It's all one big monolithic population control of humanity. That's what it is. Now, in the context of that, God, who created this world, still is sovereign. He's still in charge. I just find the shadows and reflections amazing. That's one of the reasons why I'll come on out here. You'll be able to see the couple right there, zoomed in a little bit more. That's all. When people are in the light beam, it looks differently. It looks different. And right there, we're able to see the shadow and the reflection of that gentleman. And the symmetry of that. See how different that all looks? He's got it going on. There you go. Got his motor running. And then a shadow on the water looks so different. Recently, there were millions of yards of sand pumped up on the beach. They move about 1,500 yards of sand in less than an hour, and they do it around the clock for weeks. However many yards of sand are left here, I don't know. It's a lot higher than it was. Higher is drier. Gives people a place to enjoy more of the reason they come here, to walk on the beach, to meet other people out here. It's a public forum. That's one of the reasons why I like this so much. So I've literally met people from all over the world here. China, the Czech Republic, Germany, Sweden, Norway. There we've got the reflection once again and the shadow of the gentleman right there. A lot of times people are concerned primarily with their external, like if they think they should lose a little weight. I'm going to speak to that. I'm more concerned with my mental health, so I won't take a weight loss supplement that would impair my cognitive function. That's why I talk about that. That's why I thought I would highlight that. Now, I've got a few minutes left. I'm going to zoom in on the exercise group over there. And they come out here a lot of days. And part of what happens is that people will come out here and exercise. Even a walk on the beach is excellent exercise. Fresh air, sunshine, and yes, of course, the cell phone. A lot of and I'm not all anti-technology, of course, I use it every day. And even when I'm not out here capturing and sharing, what happens is I am being shared around the world, around the clock, loved and hated. Friends of mine over at Aloha Water Sports setting up for another beautiful day of parasailing and banana boat rides. And there's other companies out here too for parasailing. It's beautiful. One of the reasons we can't see across the ocean and other continents is just the haze that shows up. Some days I'll see it crystal clear. Low humidity with the wind blowing the moisture away. So long distance photography is an example. Look at how the sun is hitting this area of buildings and not that area. And I'm going to show you why. All I need to do is turn it around and show you that the clouds will interrupt that. Those clouds right there are interrupting that direct impact of the sunshine. So when I drive around with the YouTube Truth Mobile or the Truth Cycle, I've got that all labeled up on my vehicles, my bicycle, if I bring that out here too, ride that on the beach. And then of course I've got the YouTube Truth shirt on. And some people will go there and others will not. Some will go there and think it's crazy, and some will go there and be very grateful that they had a chance to find out what I was wanting to show people, show them. So I've had people I've met right under the pier here that say, I'm so glad we met 3 years ago on our honeymoon, and now it's their anniversary. How about that? So that means a couple of things. One of them is I just keep on doing this, and I will just keep on doing this as long as I can. I meet the college age, the high school age. And it's all very interesting. I thought there might be a little puppy there or something. I don't know. No. And then I'll see the couples that have children that were single when I met them. And then they raise their families and come on out here. We've been coming out here for over 30 years. Joni went to school with Vanna White. They were cheerleaders for North Myrtle Beach. She's got a condo, let's see, where is it? Yeah, right there, I believe it is. No, it's not that one. Vanna White has a condo at the Ocean Bay Club. And it's right there. I believe it is. Yeah, that's the one. I've been there. I've hung out with Vanna for a whole day on the beach. I see her several times. Well, I've seen her quite a bit. We've talked a bit. We've got children our same age. I sent her my liked video playlist. And so people will do what they choose to do with the information that I provide for them. Because I believe it matters for eternity. So, you can handle the truth, or can you? This is Robert Forsch. Thanks so much for watching, liking, sharing, and blocking and unfriending if you gotta go. I don't want you to, but that's okay if you need to. Thank you so much. Feel free to reach out anytime.